What's going on, everyone? Like Sports, back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the New York Giants and Philadelphia Eagles preview and prediction for this week. Big time game, obviously, the divisional round. This is going to be a better game than people think. The Giants obviously got to somewhere that no one really thought that we would get, and it's really exciting to know that we got a playoff game in a day, and a playoff game that is one that we shouldn't even have had. We shouldn't even have had the playoff game last week, but we did, and we won it, and now we're going up against a divisional opponent who's beat us already twice this season. Philly, obviously coming off the bye, 14-3 this season. The Giants were 9-7-1. They played probably their best game, for almost our whole team of their career, coming off that Minnesota Vikings win. Big time game, and the Giants open up at 9.5 point underdogs, and I think right now the line kind of varies from 7.5, 8 to 9.5, and I think that the Giants will easily cover that at the very least. But I'm actually going to pick the Giants to win this football game. The Eagles are a team coming in who they were not playing the best football, to close out the year. But they did have some injuries. Of course, Jalen Hurts was banged up, but I still don't think that will. I don't think that Jalen Hurts being off for 2 weeks will help. I think it'll, if anything, make it a little bit worse. I think Jalen Hurts, he needed to kind of get on the field and take some hits and ease himself back into the game. And they had the week off, and a lot of times you see teams that came off a bye have a little bit of rust to them. And I think that's the type of game that the Eagles are going to come in here and play. They're going to try and punch the Giants in the mouth right off the bat, and the Giants are going to answer back. They're not going to let it happen. You take a look at the Eagles this season, what their bread and butter has been is to come out here and destroy the team from the first kickoff, right? And I don't think that'll be the case here. I think the Giants will play the long game, and I think that'll benefit them, in the end. And I think the Giants get out of Philadelphia with a W. I think they win this football game. I'm going to pick the Giants to win 27-23. I was pretty close with my prediction last week. I had 27-24 Giants. It was 31-24. So that was pretty close there. But listening, and looking at what kind of Sirianni has to say about Jalen Hurts, and then what the reporters have to say, Sirianni sounds really, confident. So does Jalen Hurts, but there seems to be, at least in the building, that there is a little bit more concern than what's been put out there into the media. And whether Hurts is 100% or not, I think the Giants are going to try and destroy him, right? They're going to send the house. I think Wink Martindale is going to send Kayvon to try and hit him and test out that shoulder. I don't think there's any question about it. Looking at the Eagles, injury report, they have one guy out, Avonte Maddox. He doesn't really have a huge... he doesn't really make a huge difference there in that secondary. They have so much to that secondary, so he's like the third or fourth corner, so not really missing much. Neither are the Giants, though. Of course, the guys who we all know are already out, and then and that have been out forever. And then they have Azeez Ojulari with that quadriceps injury. He's questionable to play. It's what he left with last week. He plans to play through the pain, though, so I think he should be able to play, but we'll see. But I think this is going to be a good matchup for the Giants. I think if they can, start off early and get a couple stops, I think it could go a long way. And I think Saquon and Jones, I think that dual threat for Jones is really going to help here in this football game. And the Eagles, looking at what they've done against quarterbacks who, have that dual threat to run and pass, they haven't been great against them. So I think, third time will be a charm here for the Giants. In those two games that they beat us in, we really had nothing to play for. Not that we didn't have anything to play for the first game, but we were looking ahead to that, Washington game. It was in between Washington weeks where we were kind of, looking forward to the next week, Sunday Night Football. That was kind of on our mind. And the Eagles game really, whether we won or lost, the biggest game of the year and the biggest game of the past 7 years was always going to be that game against Washington. So we kind of looked ahead, and now we have this in front of us, and all the pressure's on Philadelphia. There's no question about it. If Philly beats us, they beat us. That's what was supposed to happen. And we go home with a successful season. But if we manage to knock them off, we're playing, for a chance at the Super Bowl and, to play in the Super Bowl, and we're sending them home, right? So that would be huge. So the pressure's all on Philly, and they're huge home favorites, and I think that'll catch up to them. I really think that the Giants will do, what they do and do what they have success with and what they had success with last week. I think that they'll run those short passes and kind of try and break them out and play good defense. I think that'll be the type of game that the Giants play, and I think that that'll be the type of game that the Giants will be able to win. It'll be a great game, but I am predicting the Giants to win this game 27-23 at the Link, and we'll see if that could ultimately happen. I think it'll be a real good game, but the Giants are going to have to be able to kind of stop A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and all their weapons. We have Adoree and Xavier McKinney back. Those are two guys we didn't have for the two times we played Philly this season, so that'll be a huge boost for us in that secondary. That'll be big time. And you look at the game that we lost, that we actually played our guys to Philly, the secondary was a huge concern, and we have our secondary back now. Overall, though, guys, we'll see if they have the kind of the bye week blues, and they come off the bye with a little bit of rust. We'll see if the Giants, can take advantage. But the Giants have everything clicking right now, and the Eagles, really, to be quite honest with you, they didn't finish off the year good. Whether they had Hurts or not, they didn't finish the year off well, and I think that that's they're getting cold at the wrong time, and the Giants are getting hot at the right time. So we'll see if that ultimately, plays a factor. I think it'll be an interesting game, but, I do think the Giants come out with the win. I think Saquon and Jones have big days, and I think that the Giants are the better coach team. I think that this offense is able to do enough to beat the Eagles. Like I said, Jones, Barkley, I think they'll be the big they'll be the big difference makers. Hodgins, Slayton, Richie James, the tight ends, Cager, I think, will get some playing time, and Bellinger. So we'll see ultimately how the Giants will respond to the Eagles. But I think that we kind of do. I feel like this matchup could be good for the Giants this week. I think if they can kind of limit Hurts in the run game and kind of force him to throw. He's not a great thrower. He's definitely an overrated thrower. So we'll see how the Giants will respond to the Eagles. And hopefully that they can come off, get off to a good start and come out with the win. That would be crazy. That will be big time if the Giants can win this divisional round. But you guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on the Giants and the Eagles. Big matchup. Who do you think will win? What do you think the score will be? What do you think the keys to victory are? Let me know all that good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. See you guys all in the next video. And as always, let's go Giants.